Welcome to Chattahoochee. Chattahoochee's in its 32nd year. If you didn't know, we're called the OG. We're the original. We're so glad that everyone's turned out. We have a big crowd, students. I see some Fulton County employees, some teachers from Chattahoochee to celebrate these students. We're not going to take much more time with the introduction and welcome. Distinguished guests, I think will be welcomed separately in just a little bit. I'm going to ask Mr. Roger Wise, he'll lead us in the pledge. And the colors are presented by the Johns Creek Veterans Association Color Guards. So if you would just please stand.
Color Guards, present colors. We want to thank the Johns Creek Veterans Association Color Guards for presenting colors this evening. Folks, freedom is not free. Someone has to pay for it. All the veterans in the audience, please raise your hands. We salute you and thank you for your service to our country. First responders, please raise your hands. We salute you and thank you for your service to our community. Folks, freedom is not free. Someone has to pay for it. These great patriots that raise their hands every day protects our country, protects us, and gives us the freedoms that we have. Now I want everybody else to please join these great patriots in pledging allegiance to the flag of the greatest country in the world, the United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Color guard, one step back. At the half step, all left, hurry.
Thank you, Johns Creek Veterans Association, and God bless America.
Once again, good evening to you all, and thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Christine Bolapelli, a member of the class of 24 and a sophomore at Northview High School, and it's my pleasure to introduce to you all today President of Leadership Johns Creek, Ms. Heather Redmond. Receiving her Master's in Science in Healthcare Administration from Ohio State University, she is an inspiring leader who has touched the lives of many people throughout her work to improve our community. Please help me in receiving her onto the stage. Thank you.
Thank you, and good evening. These guys aren't joking about the lights because I can't see any of you. And I hope you can see me because I'm a little short and all I see is microphone. But thank you guys for having us here tonight. It's always an honor to get to come and celebrate our student leadership graduates of 2023. It's a tremendous amount of work and a great accomplishment for each and every one of you. So congratulations to our graduates, congratulations to our incoming class, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the projects for the class that's stuck in the middle. So I know that there's lots of great things and a lot of great work that goes on through this. But as you all know, we could not do this program and it be as successful as it is without Miss Irene Sanders. So you guys help me say I know that Irene puts her blood, sweat, and tears and everything into this program. And I think that her success shows through all of you, as well as the accomplishments that you have is because of Irene and the work that she puts into this. I also want to take a moment and say thank you to Linda McCabe. I don't know where you are, but I know you're here somewhere. She has joined us this year as a program director to support Irene in this great work. And as you heard at the beginning, we're going to have 2 sets of groups, and each year it's just going to keep growing. So thank you to Linda. Y'all help me congratulate. Again, we couldn't do this great work without you. And to our board members, I know that we have several board members here that represent leadership Johns Creek here tonight. Thank you to our board members. We could not do this work without you and your support as well. Thank you. So thank you guys, and again, congratulations to the class of 2023. I hope as you leave out of here tonight and as you continue your path and whatever your career and your university, college, wherever life takes you after this, that you continue to use the tools and the knowledge that you gained throughout this program. Congratulations, and we wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Sophia Mendez. I'm a junior at Chattahoochee High School and part of the 2023 class of student leadership. My favorite student leadership memory would have to be shadowing day. For my shadowing day, I went to the Atlanta Tech Village and shadowed Mr. Colin Chance, who is a businessman who works to develop and grow startups and existing businesses. Now I would like to recognize some of our special guests in attendance. Please stand as I call your name for an applause. State Senator Sean Still. President of the Georgia Student Finance Commission, Lynn Riley. Johns Creek City Council member, Bob Ermley.
Good evening. My name is Nishan Veerder, and I currently attend Chattahoochee High School. Over my time with SOJC, I've had many great memories, but one that's most memorable to me is City Day. On City Day, we visited the Johns Creek City Hall and had the amazing opportunity of speaking with local government officials about their time in the city, as well as their amazing experiences. They also shared with us the new developments in the Johns Creek area, and one I'm sure all of you know about is the Colley Creek Park in Beirut. Overall, I had an amazing time and really learned a lot from this experience. Now, it is my pleasure to welcome all the principals from all the schools represented here today. As I call you, could you please stand up to be recognized? Mr. Martin Newhouse from Northview High School. Mr. Chris Shearer from Johns Creek High School. Mr. Michael Todd from Chattahoochee High School. Mr. Keenan Campbell from Centennial High School. And Mr. Ken Scott from Innovation Academy. Now, I will be introducing the school sponsors, and once again, as I introduce you, could you please stand up to be recognized? Mr. Daniel Blanchard from Centennial High School. Miss Amanda Weil from Chattahoochee High School. Roya Schweinbeck from Johns Creek High School. Christy Bounds from Northview High School. And Miss Wanda Moore from Innovation Academy. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Hello everyone. My name is Nikhil Mashanar, and I'm from Chattahoochee High School, class of 2023. And my favorite memory from SLJC is probably going to be Government Day, because we got to see so many of our special places in Georgia, including our state capitol and our Supreme Court building. But more than that, we got to see meet a lot of our important figures in Georgia political life, including our district attorney, as well as our Supreme Court justice on the Georgia State Supreme Court. But today I would like to introduce Mayor John Bradbury. Our mayor, he's a former Marine, and he's been involved in Johns Creek city life ever since its inception as a HOA president. And he also started Preserve Johns Creek, a group dedicated to preserving Johns Creek residential earth. So let's give it up for our mayor.
This is fantastic. It's going to go right outside my office where a collection of the previous class pictures already are. So thank you for this very much. It is great to be with you. And when I was thinking about tonight, this morning I had a meeting with city management. And one of the things that we talked quite a bit about is that we are going to be on the next city council agenda. We will have a robust discussion about our next steps to bring about a makerspace STEM playground at Cauley Creek Park. And of course you heard that reference earlier. But this is something that we are leaning into because we really want to make as much of an investment in our human capital in the people of our community as possible. And we think this will be yet another great way to do that. But while we were having that discussion, I was thinking about this event tonight, Student Leadership Johns Creek, the fact that we're bringing in a new group, the fact that a class is about to graduate. And I thought to myself, this is already something that Johns Creek has been proving the concept of investing in our human capital. If we didn't have Student Leadership Johns Creek, we would need to invent it. But luckily, there is such a great track record and there is so much success, and I think that the students seem to get so much out of it. I just want to thank Irene and Linda and the other folks that are involved with leadership of this program and the principals and students. Please thank your parents, because I know that they also had to make an investment in you participating in this. And thank you, students, because I really truly believe that what you're involved in, the study of leadership, that is something that, as you are hopefully involved in lifelong learning, being involved in studying leadership, that is something that will serve you well for the rest of your life, and I would encourage you to continue to study it. I would imagine that, whether it's our president and Congress, I imagine that they are still learning things about how to be a better leader. I know that I am. I've studied and I'm trying to learn to do more. I will just leave you with 3 thoughts that I've had about leadership. One, no matter what knowledge you gain, the most important thing is your integrity. Your integrity, if you don't have that, you're going to get done with whatever leadership role you've had and really not have anything. The other thing is innovation. Steve Jobs, I'm sure, how many of you probably have iPhones? He really focused on innovation. And he has said, without innovation, you're not really a leader. And so whether it's in the political realm or the business realm, whatever role you're in, if you're not leading towards change, if you're not leading towards improvement, of innovating, then really you're just managing status quo, right? And then lastly, just always never forget about people, because without people, you're not going to accomplish anything. So you've always got to be focused on those relationships and bringing people along. And as our city manager says, we accomplish a great more together than we do if we're just by ourselves. You can go faster by ourselves, but not necessarily
Once again, good evening to you all, and thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Nassini Bolapelli, a member of the class of 24 and a sophomore at Northview High School. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you all today, President of Leadership Johns Creek, Ms. Heather Regin. Receiving her Master's in Science in Healthcare Administration from Ohio State University, she is an inspiring leader who has touched the lives of many people throughout her work to improve our community. Please help me in receiving her onto the stage. Thank you.
Thank you, and good evening. These guys aren't joking about the lights because I can't see any of you. And I hope you can see me because I'm a little short and all I see is a microphone. But thank you guys for having us here tonight. It's always an honor to get to come and celebrate our student leadership graduates of 2023. It's a tremendous amount of work and a great accomplishment for each and every one of you. So congratulations to our graduates, congratulations to our incoming class, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the projects for the class that's stuck in the middle. So I know that there's lots of great things and a lot of great work that goes on through this. But as you all know, we could not do this program and it be as successful as it is without Miss Irene Sanders. So will you guys help me say Irene puts her blood, sweat, and tears and everything into this program. And I think that her success shows through all of you, as well as the accomplishments that you have, is because of Irene and the work that she puts into this. I also want to take a moment and say thank you to Linda McCabe. I don't know where you are, but I know you're here somewhere. She has joined us this year as a program director to support Irene in this great work. And as you heard at the beginning, we're going to have 2 sets of groups, and each year it's just going to keep growing. So thank you to Linda. Y'all help me congratulate her. Again, we couldn't do this great work without you. And to our board members, I know that we have several board members here that represent Leadership Johns Creek here tonight. Thank you to our board members. We could not do this work without you and your support as well. Thank you. So thank you guys, and again, congratulations to the class of 2023. And I hope as you leave out of here tonight and as you continue your path and whatever your career and your university, college, wherever life takes you after this, that you continue to use the tools and the knowledge that you gained throughout this program. Congratulations, and we wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sophia Mendez. I'm a junior at Chattahoochee High School and part of the 2023 class of student leadership. My favorite student leadership memory would have to be shadowing day. For my shadowing day, I went to the Atlanta Tech Village and shadowed Mr. Colin Chance, who is a businessman who works to develop and grow startups and existing businesses. Now I would like to recognize some of our special guests in attendance. Please stand as I call your name for an applause. State Senator Sean Still. President of the Georgia Student Finance Commission, Lynn Riley. Johns Creek City Council Member, Bob Ermley.
Good evening. My name is Nishan Vedar, and I currently attend Northview High School. Over my time with SOJC, I've had many great memories, but one that's most memorable to me is City Day. On City Day, we visited the Johns Creek City Hall and had the amazing opportunity of speaking with local government officials about their time in the city, as well as their amazing experiences. They also shared with us the new developments in the Johns Creek area, and one I'm sure all of you know about is the Collie Creek Park in Peru. Overall, I had an amazing time and really learned a lot from this experience. Now, it is my pleasure to welcome all the principals from all the schools represented here today. As I call you, could you please stand up to be recognized? Mr. Martin Newhouse from Northview High School. Mr. Chris Shearer from Johns Creek High School. Mr. Michael Todd from Chattahoochee High School. Mr. Keenan Campbell from Centennial High School. And Mr. Ken Scott from Innovation Academy. Now, I will be introducing the school sponsors. And once again, as I introduce you, could you please stand up to be recognized? Mr. Daniel Blanchard from Centennial High School. Miss Amanda Weil from Chattahoochee High School. Roya Schweinbeck from Johns Creek High School. Christy Bounds from Northview High School. And Miss Wanda Moore from Innovation Academy. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Hello everyone. My name is Nico Musher, and I'm from Chattahoochee High School, class of 2023. And my favorite memory from SLJC is probably going to be Government Day, because we got to see so many of our special places in Georgia, including our state capitol and our Supreme Court building. But more than that, we got to see meet a lot of our important figures in Georgia political life, including our district attorney, as well as our Supreme Court justice on the Georgia Supreme Court. But today I would like to introduce Mayor John Bradbury. Our mayor, he's a former Marine, and he's been involved in Johns Creek city life ever since its inception as a HOA president. And he also started Preserve Johns Creek, a group dedicated to preserving Johns Creek residential earth. So let's give it up for our mayor.
This is fantastic. It's going to go right outside my office where a collection of the previous class pictures already are. So thank you for this very much. It is great to be with you, and when I was thinking about tonight, this morning I had a meeting with city management, and one of the things that we talked quite a bit about is that we are going to be on the next city council agenda. We will have a robust discussion about our next steps to bring about a makerspace STEM playground at Collie Creek Park. And of course you heard that reference earlier. But this is something that we are leaning into because we really want to make as much of an investment in our human capital in the people of our community as possible. And we think this will be yet another great way to do that. But while we were having that discussion, I was thinking about this event tonight, Student Leadership Johns Creek, the fact that we're bringing in a new group, the fact that a class is about to graduate. And I thought to myself, this is already something that Johns Creek has been proving the concept of investing in our human capital. If we didn't have Student Leadership Johns Creek, we would need to invent it. But luckily, there is such a great track record and there is so much success, and I think that the students seem to get so much out of it. I just want to thank Irene and Linda and the other folks that are involved with leadership of this program and the principals and students. Please thank your parents, because I know that they also had to make an investment in you participating in this. And thank you, students, because I really truly believe that what you're involved in, the study of leadership, that is something that, as you are hopefully involved in lifelong learning, being involved in studying leadership, that is something that will serve you well for the rest of your life, and I would encourage you to continue to study it. I would imagine that, whether it's our president and Congress, I imagine that they are still learning things about how to be a better leader. I know that I am. I've studied and I'm trying to learn to do more. I will just leave you with 3 thoughts that I've had about leadership. One, no matter what knowledge you gain, the most important thing is your integrity. Your integrity, if you don't have that, you're going to get done with whatever leadership role you've had and really not have anything. The other thing is innovation. Steve Jobs, I'm sure, how many of you probably have iPhones? He really focused on innovation. And he has said, without innovation, you're not really a leader. And so whether it's in the political realm or the business realm, whatever role you're in, if you're not leading towards change, if you're not leading towards improvement of innovating, then really you're just managing status quo, right? And then lastly, just always never forget about people, because without people, you're not going to accomplish anything. So you've always got to be focused on those relationships and bringing people along. And as our city manager says, we accomplish a great more together than we do if we're just by ourselves. We can go faster by ourselves, but not necessarily. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is May Kanayer, a senior at Northview High School. SLJC provided me and other student leaders with the opportunity to shadow a professional in the field of law. I had the honor of shadowing Judge Carson, who gave us the opportunity and time to learn about her career and experiences during our observation of the trial. And it is one of my favorite memories of student leadership at Johns Creek. I also have the honor of introducing her today. A graduate of Emory Law School and currently serving as a judge on the Superior Court of Fulton County, Judge Raquel Carnesol ensures a fair and full process of the court, ensuring that everyone's voices are heard to provide timely justice. A part of her work includes working with student leadership at Johns Creek in a supportive role during our major events, taking the time to talk with students and provide guidance for our teachers. Please welcome Judge Carnesol to speak for us today.
First of all, I want to say that our mayor is in really good shape, because did you see him take that step right there? I'm definitely not doing that. Well, I want to congratulate you guys tonight. Those of you who are still in the program are getting a great opportunity. Those of you who are finishing up and graduating have had a great experience. It was my intention tonight to extend the metaphor from the book that everyone's talking about, Same Storm, Different Boats, to talk to the students about the privilege that they have, living in a community that is safe, that has excellent schools, that has programs like this where they have access to people like Supreme Court justices. The kids loved meeting Justice LaGrua. But then I started thinking about the kids. And the truth is, parents, you have some incredible kids here. They're already brilliant. They're already citizens of the world. They're already grateful. They already want to go and change everything and make things better, save the planet, help people, achieve social justice. So I don't really need to tell them about that. They're already grateful. So then I was watching TikTok and I learned something new. Apparently, my generation, and probably yours, Generation X, is very famous for our helicopter parenting, and apparently, according to TikTok, that's because our boomer parents did not helicopter us enough. Is that right, students? Yeah. So, fortunately, my mother's not here tonight. I wasn't a latchkey kid, but that thing about drinking out of hot water hoses in the yard, that's true, you guys. We didn't have any burner house. But, whereas we had tons and tons of freedom, our kids really don't. What our kids have had is tons and tons of pressure. I am also the proud parent of a 23 graduate, Brady Carnesale, and a running joke at our house is that the first word I tried to teach him was neurologist. So we've all tried to help our kids get every opportunity that there is in life. They started orchestra at 2, right? Karate immediately, we put them in everything. Our schedules revolved around getting our kids to where they needed to be so they could get every chance and every opportunity that we wanted them to have. Right? But you know what it was? It was stressful. And when I talked to some kids a couple years ago from Northview, I asked them, what's the biggest pressure in your life? What's your biggest hurdle? What's your worry? What do you guys think they said? Our parents. We're terrified of our parents. You should see my parents, you know. And so in my job at Superior Court of Fulton County, I see people from a different demographic. They don't have parents who care. They don't have people supporting them. I have very young defendants, as young as 15 and 16, who've committed crimes that have been put them in prison forever. And the consistent theme is they had nobody supporting them, no one rooting for them. So at the same time that we put a lot of pressure on our kids, thank God we rooted for them and got them here today. Here's what I want you to know leaving, since I've decided to address the parents, and you guys wouldn't save me from this, right? These kids, you guys, are really, really good eggs. So let's do our very best not to crack them. My grandmother taught me that everything usually comes out okay in the end. And so I've got interns that are worried about colleges. We know kids who are merit scholars that are not getting their first, second, third, 10th, 15th choice in college. It's gonna be fine, you guys. Wherever you end up, you're gonna pursue your passions, you're gonna do great, you're gonna impress your parents, they're still gonna love you, and everything's gonna be fine. I'm so proud of you guys. One of the things Student Leadership Johns Creek did this year was support a program that I've got, My Journey Matters, for very young offenders who are facing decades in prison but decide to go into a program instead. What we learned is our young offenders are also young parents, and so we created parenting classes. And our interns and all the kids in Student Leadership Johns Creek organized, collected, purchased gift cards, diapers, formula, and I have a room in the courthouse that's still supplied with all of those things. Today, a young mother came to that program. She has nothing. She's been a meth addict forever. She's got a little baby. At the end of her hearing today, you know what I said? Would you like to go back and get some supplies for the kids up in Johns Creek? And she said, I can't wait. And she left with diapers, she left with formula, and she left with things to help take care of her kids. On her previous visit, she said it had become dangerous where she was living and she had to move, and she had no bed for her baby. So you know what we used? Gift cards. These kids raised and purchased to give that lady a bassinet for her baby, which may save that child's life. So I can't thank you enough, kids. I can't thank you enough, parents, for making these great kids, and we're all so proud of you.
Hi, my name is Ava San. I'm a senior at Johns Creek High School, and I am committed to Georgia Tech as an industrial engineering major. So go yellow jackets. I'd like to talk to you today about my own LCJC experience. For my first year of LCJC, I became the group leader of the Johns Creek Group 2 Service Project. Our project worked directly with the Johns Creek Public Safety Foundation to help sell police and firefighters stuffed animal dogs, to help support the Johns Creek firefighters and police officers who are injured in the line of duty, or to assist their families if they are unfortunately killed. With the team's dedication and efforts, we were able to raise around $2,400 in under 6 months. Additionally, I was selected to become an LCJC Secretary of State Ambassador to raise awareness about Georgia civics and voter registration. We broke the record of points and amassed over 600,000 civic points to win the statewide competition. I remember clearly how Ms. Sanders announced that we won in last year's graduation. We were literally not expecting that at all. But through my time as an ambassador, I got to meet some very important civic members. And I got to be part of the first ever beta class of the Student Public Safety Academy. In the academy, I was able to meet with numerous police officers, firefighters, and SWAT members. In the academy, I became more informed about the public safety sector of Johns Creek. But most importantly, through this opportunity, I have grown a newfound respect for those people who put their lives at risk in order for us to live in a safe community. I was also introduced to One Johns Creek, which is an organization doing great work in the Johns Creek community to help reduce drug use and promote community wellness. In my second year of LCJC, I also became the group leader for the shadowing of Georgia Tech Industrial Engineering Professor Craig Toby, and I did a second shadowing at the Atlanta Alcon manufacturing site, where I shadowed numerous staff like the senior production manager, Tiffany Smith. Through these shadowings, I was able to become confident in my choice to major as an industrial engineering at Georgia Tech. Through these shadowings, I was able to know that engineering was the right path for me. LCJC led me to seek discomfort and to go beyond. It allowed me the practice and the opportunity to gain the confidence and ability to speak to you all today. I am confident that LCJC has done more for my growth than any other experience or opportunity I have been a part of. So especially with all my gratitude, thank you to Ms. Sanders and all of the people who have supported LCJC and given us high schoolers a chance to prove ourselves. This program has catalyzed who I am, and I can say without a doubt that I came out of this program not just as a better leader, but as a better person. Thank you, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your graduation.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Yukta Sharma, and I'm a senior here at Chattahoochee High School. Today, I'm here to talk to you about failure. Recently, failure has become common to me. I might say it's normal for me too. There was this really cool national level leadership position that I worked my butt off for. I tried to meet so many new people, make so many connections, and I didn't get it. And then there was an internship that I really, really wanted, and I missed the opportunity to apply for. And SLJC is nothing but an addition to this list. When I first found out about SLJC, I was a freshman just hungry for any leadership opportunity that I could dump on my college application. So I was green, and that did not help me at all. I didn't pay attention to the application questions, and I did not get in my first year. That was a huge reality check, and I needed to bounce back. I knew I could too. So I focused on building my resume over the next year. And then the realization that my hard work had paid off dawned upon me as I read my acceptance letter. Over the next 2 years, SLJC taught me a lot. We did a lot of projects and had a lot of tasks to do. The first being the Macedonia Cemetery project, which taught me that I didn't need to travel far to learn about new history, to learn anything new. It's just across the street from there. Then there was the escape room, the kickoff in August, which my team and I, we almost made it through. Well, we did, but it was a little hassle. And then there was the portfolio project, which I would say is my most favorite project because it really made me proud and it allowed me to use my creative skills to design a website which displayed all of my other talents. What I learned from SLJC and my other failures is that you can always bounce back if you think about it, if you put in the work for it. Remember that leadership position I didn't get? Well, I ended up getting a state leadership position that is tied with so many amazing memories today. And then that internship that I get, it led me to get an even better job and open more opportunities for me. So I leave you with this. Failure is okay, and try to make failure known to you. Push through it. There's always better opportunities out there. And so, I wish you all the best of things. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Hannah Marr, and I'm a graduating member of the class of 2023 at Student Leadership Johns Creek, as well as a graduating senior at Johns Creek High School. I first remember hearing about this amazing program in my first period English Lit class, and then the pandemic hit. Despite the pandemic hindering the possibility of in-person meetings at the beginning, Ms. Sanders and Ms. Nagler helped bring us all together and gave us the opportunity to learn the importance of leadership. Meeting Richard Pillay, Congresswoman Lucy McBath, and Fonnie Willis, and more were excellent examples of leaders that I got to meet. Last year, I was sitting right there in the audience, marveling at the opportunities that student leadership Johns Creek offered. And today, I'm standing here, having taken those opportunities and expanded my knowledge. I remember walking up to Macedonia Cemetery and realizing that I only lived half a mile away from there, but never knew about it. It was something that caught me off guard, because even though I've lived here for 12 years, I never knew about it. From then on, I learned about other historical sites in Johns Creek and how these establishments have created lasting impacts in our community. Talking to Maju Shaheed, descendant of former slave Abel Waters, buried in Macedonia Cemetery, and examining historical documents created a lasting impression that I still look back to today. These are just some of the things I got to partake in and cherish as I moved on to college at Northeastern University. Would you believe that 2 years ago, I wouldn't even go near a stage? Now I can give 3-minute speeches and even introduce dignitaries to the stage. Being in student leadership taught me how to break out of my shell and expand my network and knowledge at the same time. Interviewing Maju Shaheed, writing the script, and presenting it at the premiere with my fellow peers was an amazing way to showcase what I learned and aspire to be as student leadership at Johns Creek. These 2 years flew by, and for the incoming class, including my younger sister, you will learn so much, and I wish you the very best. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you again for joining us to celebrate the graduating class of 2023. My name is Cordy Iyer. I'm a current senior at Northview High School and was one of the SOS ambassadors on the 2021 to 2022 team. 2 years ago, as a sophomore in high school, I doubt I would have stood on this stage without thinking about the stutters, the mess-ups, the sweaty palms that would have stood in my way. But today, I take that chance. I take that chance, and I'm proud and excited to represent the students who have supported me through this SLJC journey. I think that we can all agree that these past 2 years have been a long and enriching path. Starting with the virtual escape room, to persevering all the way to complete our service projects, all the way to completing our shadowing presentations this year. We have all grown together, determined to complete our requirements and proud and eager to graduate today. Through this program, I experienced events I never thought I would be a part of. I saw a dermatologist literally performing an operation. I worked with a group of students to organize a city council debate. I even met a researcher and talked to a researcher at Johns Hopkins. And as a class, with each and every single one of these endeavors, similar or completely different, we all built in our confidence, learned something not to do, even gained a skill or two. But most importantly, I take away the time I spent with my fellow leaders. The countless 4-hour meetings end on end, with the honorary go-sings at the conclusion, and the memories we made together that I will cherish for a really, really long time. To the class of 2024, immerse yourself in every experience you are given, because I can guarantee that each and every single program day has 1 or 2 things that you can take away from. Reach out to the people that you meet, and build from every connection that you get, even if that means stepping outside of your comfort zone. Thank you, Ms. Sanders, Ms. Nagler, for all the hard work you continue to put in day after day, and thank you to everyone here for making this possible.
Good evening. My name is Olivia Bernard, a current junior at Johns Creek High School, and my all-time favorite program is study.
Good evening. My name is Joseph Pan, and I attend Chattahoochee High School as well. I'm class of 2024. I'm currently a sophomore. My favorite program day was a city day, but I want to share the most valuable lesson I learned from this program. Communication. Communication was the most important aspect from this project as I went through my first year of this project. Communication was such an important aspect that our group, Johnson group member, we struggle a lot because of this communication issue. And I'm very grateful to the center and my Johnson group members over there and other contributors for giving me this valuable lesson. Yes, thank you.
We are happy to introduce the graduating class of 2023 from Johns Creek High School. Please come up to the stage and your name is called to receive your course and certificate. And after you receive your course and certificate, please stay on the stage for the pledge. Brady Carson.
Peter Nasha.
Lena Roman.
Dale Fediger.
Sanam Khan.
Sam Tonko.
Neha Yon.
Megna Dalapati.
Connor McElhinney.
Yes. Jeremy McWhorter.
Sophia Mendez.
On John.
Ava Sun.
Congratulations to the Johns Creek class of 2023.
And just so that you guys know, the reason that we did Johns Creek early is because they have their honors night tonight, and so they're all going to be booking. They're all meeting. So, thank you.
Hello again, Aria. My favorite memory of student leadership at Johns Creek throughout these past 2 years, I have so many amazing memories to start, but One of my more recent favorite memories is my shadowing project. I shadowed the CEO of Emory Johns Creek with Brady Carnesale. We shadowed Miss Marilyn Margolis, and it was just such an amazing experience, and we learned so much about business and our passions for healthcare and how to connect communities through passions. And she's such an amazing woman, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to shadow her. I am also so happy to announce that student leadership of Johns Creek 2025 will be double the size that all of the other classes have been. And if you know Miss Sanders, you know she's a Saints fan. So there's two teams, and while I wish I could say, or she wishes she could say, there's a blue and a gold team, or I'm sorry, a black and a gold team. There is a blue and a green team next year. So next up, we're going to have someone come and introduce the class of 2025.
Good evening. My name is Amy Fury, and I am from Chattahoochee High School. And one of my favorite student leadership memories was getting to go on Government Day, and I was able to spend the day with all of my friends and see important government buildings in Atlanta. And we were also able to hear from some very important women, such as District Attorney Barney Willis and Judge Carnesale, and hear about their impact on the Atlanta community, and it was just a very interesting and inspiring experience.
My name is Nicole Dunn, and I also attend Centennial High School. One of my favorite memories about student leadership at Johns Creek was making new friends and getting to have fun together while making a lasting impact on our community through our group projects.
We're happy to introduce and announce the new members of the Centennial Class of 2025. As your name is called, please come to the stage. The members include
Matt Barker,
Skylar Davis,
Jacob Duplessis,
Camila Gomez,
Meredith Hughes,
Evan Johnson, Kaiser,
Bradley Cosi,
Cooper Lowe,
Sebastian
Hunter Martin,
Darcy Pham,
Lilo Ross,
D.F. Sharp,
Emily Smith,
and finally Jody Tyler. Congratulations to the newest class from Centennial High School.
Good evening. My name is Sana Khan, and I attend Johns Creek High School. My favorite memory about student leadership at Johns Creek was completing the shadowing project and to have the wonderful opportunity to sit in with the executives at Coca-Cola and see behind the scenes of their marketing. Completing this project allowed me to see firsthand how important it is for leaders of all ranks to learn how to work well with others. I'm happy to introduce and welcome the class of Johns Creek 2025 Blue Team. As your name is called, please come to the stage. The members include Kalina Bandari, Gianni Chang, Chris Cruz Ordonez, Susmita Dor, Renee Gia, Junhee Park, Demir Sadik,
Isha Sajan, Yashmita Santamahan, Sanjana Shah, Kirti Sharma, Annika Srinivasan. Congratulations and welcome to class of 2025 representing Johns Creek High School.
Good evening. My name is Maggie Dowd and I attend Johns Creek High School. My favorite student leadership Johns Creek memory was sitting in Judge Carmichael's courtroom listening to all the fascinating cases she gets to try every day. I'm happy to introduce and welcome the Chattahoochee Class 2025 Blue Team. As your name is called, please come to the stage. Pratik Dodla, Akash Joshi, Suresh Kanakala, Stuti Mohan, Preeti Pedu, Alvi Raj, Bhaktika Rajala, Arjun Sanjay, Sid Shivakumar, Anusha Tandon, and Pranav Yelapragada. Congratulations and welcome to the class of 2025 representing Chattahoochee High School.
Good evening. My name is Rishi Subramanian, and I'm a senior at Northview High School. My favorite memory in SLJC by far was my shadowing experience. I got to shadow the chemical engineering department at Alcon, and it was definitely a unique and one-of-a-kind experience that I wouldn't have been able to achieve without the help of Ms. Sanders and SLJC. I'm happy to introduce and welcome the Northview Class of 2025 Blue Team. As your name is called, please come to the stage. The members include Neil Adlakam, Samara Welcome, Samantha Welcome, Joseph Jin, Claire Jin, Hanita Bakra, Omkar Kontimala, Siri Manekar, Shelly Mao, Bhumi Modi, Rachel Nakar, and Siddharth Vedula. Congratulations and welcome to the class of 2025 representing Northview High School. Your name looks good. Thank you.
Squeeze a little more together. You know what?
Good evening. My name is Bob Shaw, and I am part of the SLJC class of 2023. My favorite SLJC memory would have to be the shadowing. project. Through this opportunity, I was able to learn and mentor under Professor Greg Tubby, who's the head and dean of industrial engineering at Georgia Tech. Through this opportunity, I was able to learn about the fundamentals of industrial engineering, learn how to apply myself creatively in different situations, and attend a line optimization course in which we learn how to use optimization models in real life. Before I go ahead and introduce the Mount Pisgah class of 2025, I'd like to thank Ms. Sanders for this wonderful opportunity. In this opportunity, I was gained much learned leadership experience, and I was able to grow myself into a much more capable leader and talk in front of large crowds. Now, I'd like to introduce the Mount Pisgah class of 2025. Zach Klein. Caroline Boardman. Hayden Cover. Jade Weston. Samantha Hance. Wiley Picker. Ellie Plunkett. Maxine Papa. Kathleen Weston. And Jara V. Congratulations and welcome to
Good evening. My name is Tiffany Abasahan, and I currently attend Johns Creek High School. I'm also one of our Secretary of State student ambassadors, which I will be coming back in a second to talk about. One of my favorite memories is appearing on the Above and Beyond Leadership podcast hosted by Michael Levy. Sorry, where I talked about my journey moving from a culture-shocked 11-year-old freshly out of Nigeria to a practiced student leader. I am happy to introduce and welcome the Chattahoochee class of 2025 green team. As I call your name, please come to the stage. First, we have Nadia Aroki Asami. Kobe Chernishin. Shihyun Kim. Devesh Kudumuri. Christine Lee. Sophia Lin. Nicole Leo. Shea Simpson. Congratulations and welcome to the class of 2025.
Good evening again. Forgot my name is Rishi Subramanian. I'm a senior at Northview High School, but you already know that. Another one of my favorite memories at SLJC was probably working on the Macedonia Sanitary documentaries, because it taught me a lot about my own community, as you heard from other people today already. And above all, it was really unique, and I think that's what every experience in SLJC was. It's really unique. So I'm happy to introduce and welcome Northview Class of 2025 Green Team. As your name is called, please come to the stage. The members include Siddharth Burla, Shakala Madhu, Summer Ban, Amelia Kumar, Jill Kwong, Amelia Lee, Kevin Lowe, Rigada Patel, Venesh Venkateswaran, and Edward Singh. Congratulations and welcome to the class of 2025 representing Northview High School.
Good evening. My name is Linda Rujan and I attend Johns Creek High School. My favorite memory of student leadership at Johns Creek was shadowing them. I got to shadow Coca-Cola marketeers and saw the behind the scenes of what it's like to be a business executive, which is what I aspire to be when I'm older. I'm happy to introduce and welcome the Johns Creek class of 2025 Green Team. As your name is called, please come to the stage. The members include Annika Gowda, Isha Johnson, Heidi John, Lucy Leo, Jesse Lichtenfeld, Michelle Law, Ria Mon, Aubrey Neal, and Alexander Wu. Congratulations and welcome to the class of 2025 representing Johns Creek.
Good evening. My name is Sana Fatima and I attend Innovation Academy. One of my favorite memories this year in SLJC was Government Day in Atlanta, and getting to hear about and learn about all the careers opened my eyes on the opportunities we have in the future.
And my name is Irene Huang, and I attend Northview High School. My favorite memory from Student Leadership Johns Creek was City Day.
We are happy to introduce and welcome the Innovation Academy class of 2025. As your name is called, please come to the stage. The members include
Timmy Akinyel,
Cameron Baber,
Rigvid Baklikar,
Nick Bard,
Gupta,
John Milani,
Anjali Mohan,
Trinity Moram,
Robert Mosley Day,
Vishwa Munagapati,
Parthiban,
Jenbao Kern,
Nam,
Nicholas Scout,
Korea,
Theodore Whittaker.
Congratulations and welcome to the class of 2025 representing Innovation Academy. Please remain on the stage for a photo.
You guys are also going to report a little bit more. Good job.
Hello and good evening. My name is Brady Colmsale and I'm part of the class of Student Leadership Johns Creek, class of 2023. Now, these past 2 years that I've spent at this program have been nothing short of incredible. And I've learned and culminated knowledge about the wonderful city of Johns Creek and what it takes to be a prominent leader in this community. Now, I've been asked to talk about what my favorite part of SLJC is. And some people may say City Day, a day in which the first year classes travel down to City Hall. Or they may say their research in the Macedonian Cemetery documentaries. Or their most recent project, Same Storm, Different Boats. A journey into the effect of COVID on our community. But in my opinion, the program days in which we sat down in that big conference room at the bottom floor of Emory Johns Creek Hospital were my absolute favorite. And these program days provided opportunities to SLJC and its members to connect with one another and collaborate. They provided opportunities to learn from a vast number of public speakers who taught us how to become better leaders, better communicators, and better people. Now, most importantly, these program days gave us the chance to strengthen our relationships with our peers. Program days make SLJC a tight-knit community, tighter than it already is. Now, unfortunately, Dr. Parada couldn't be here tonight, but I will take the pleasure in reading her prepared comments. Good evening. I am so sorry that I am unable to be with you tonight to celebrate your accomplishments at this graduation. I am in Chicago for the American Educational Research Association Conference, where I am presenting about your project, Same Storm, Different Boats, documenting the living history of the COVID-19 pandemic to educators, researchers, and professors from across the country. For the second year, Student Leadership Johns Creek and Mercer University partnered to secure grant funding, this time from the Library of Congress, teaching with primary sources Eastern region to support your community service project. Your documentaries about Macedonia African Methodist Church Cemetery were a huge success because of the care each of you brought to the importance of historical preservation and reverence of history in Johns Creek. This year, you continued this service by analyzing primary sources from the Library of Congress in order to support your local history research about the diverse experiences of community members during the pandemic. One day, these times in which we live will be in the history books, and your kids will learn about what the world was like when the COVID-19 outbreak occurred. So many people suffered in many different ways. And yet one theme that kept emerging from your research is how strong your community is. You did a great service, not only for documenting this history with your exhibits and book, but modeling resilience for future generations as you reflected on your experiences during school closures, virtual events, and being separated from family and friends. I want to express my gratitude to your families and friends for supporting you. All of the community members who donated time and artifacts for this project, Ms. Sanders for all of her hard work and dedication to student leadership, and to you for being exemplary students and citizens. I know that I said this last year at your graduation, but this bears repeating. I truly believe that our future is in good hands because of the engaged and empathetic citizens that you are. Good luck in your future endeavors and keep on documenting your living histories. I'm so proud of you. Signed, Dr. Pearl. Student Leadership Johns Creek has given me a chance to grow as a leader, a team player, and a peer. My experiences have been invaluable, and I'm so glad to have shared them with all of you. I'm so incredibly lucky. So thank you.
Hello, good evening everyone. I want to thank everyone who's present today. I'm so proud of each and every one of you and what this year has brought us. I'm Ashita Sakul, a current SLJC representative from Johns Creek High School in the class of 2024. Throughout my time and experiences with Student Leadership Johns Creek, I created valuable experiences and unforgettable memories with those around me. One of my favorite memories of SLJC was City Day, where we got an opportunity to tour the Johns Creek City Hall, learn more about the various departments within City Hall, and connect with officials with public safety, all to see them get attacked by canines at the end. Most importantly, Ms. Sanders, who is very dear to me, always served as a guiding light in my path. It is due to Student Leadership Johns Creek that not only was I able to grow as a leader, but also grow as a person. The Johns Creek team, which included me, Tiffany, Brooke, Sydney, Stanley, and Sine, initiated the Finley Oaks Gaga Pit project,
where our goal was to build a Gaga pit at Finley Oaks Elementary School for elementary schools to play in during recess. Before, we noticed that the Gaga pit at Finley Oaks was outdated and was falling apart. Therefore, as this leadership project, we took the initiative to replace the previous Gaga pit with a new and sturdy one for students. Prior to building the Gaga pit, we met with Finley Oaks principal and received approval to start the project at Finley Oaks. From there, we communicated with Mr. Jeffrey Gilbreth, who is a parapro at Finley Oaks, regarding the construction of the Gaga pit. After discussing the size of the Gaga pit, the materials and the number of people needed for construction, and the fixed date for building it, we were able to plan accordingly and spread information about our project through flyers, social media posts, and emails. Once the Gaga pit arrived and the layout of the pit was planned out, we were able to build the Gaga pit with the help of our team, along with Mr. Gilbreth, Ms. Sanders, volunteers, and many others who offered to help. During the building process, we had several opportunities to use cool mechanical tools such as power tools and much more. Even though many of us didn't know how to use the mechanical tools, we learned how to use them fairly quickly. The entire building of the Gaga pit took 3 hours to complete, and the finished Gaga pit was truly rewarding since all of our hard work paid off. After finishing the final touches and having a photo shoot next to the pit, the new Gaga pit on Finley Oaks was finally built. I'm so proud of everyone's hard work, as without their help, we wouldn't have been able to execute this project. I'm so excited to see what next year has to offer at SLJC and the new experiences to come. Thank you so much for your time.
Hello everyone, my name is Charlotte Perry and I am attending this class of 2024. My favorite student leadership activity was Government Day, where we were able to talk with real leaders working with our government and immerse ourselves in real life experience. I had the honor of working with such a great group, and before deciding on our project, we knew that we wanted a hands-on experience so that we could really be engaged with the project and the people it was impacting. As a team, we decided that middle school age kids were some of the most formative and nerve-wracking filled ages, and we wanted to base our project around bettering their experience and helping them to feel ready to become future scholars and leaders. Our 2023 project focused on mentorship and encouragement for local middle schoolers. We had monthly visits to Kingsbridge Middle School, avid classes of all grades. We made PowerPoints, held activities, and led discussions based around leadership and high school preparation. The project felt very impactful for my group members and I, as we were able to personally interact with the kids and build meaningful bonds with them that will help them as they navigate through both high school and future leadership opportunities. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rob Saraf, and I'm a sophomore at Northview High School. I'm also a part of the 2024 SLJC class. My favorite SLJC memory was the escape room I did with my group. It was a great way for us to start getting to know each other, and it was the start of our team. Throughout this year in SLJC, all of us had projects that we had to work on. Today, I'm here to share my group's project. Our group's project was to interview seniors from the Ashwood Meadows Senior Center, and in the end, we made a video that summed up our accomplishments, and we included clips of advice from our seniors. You guys may be wondering why we chose to include and interview seniors. The reason we chose to interview seniors was to share the knowledge we gained from interviewing the seniors historically and general knowledge, because having someone who actually lived through the time period versus what the media and textbooks teach us are very different, because important information is often cut. So having someone who lived through the time period is a great way to educate the public. Additionally, the families of the seniors can watch the video of their parents or their grandparents inspiring and educating the youth. None of this would have been possible without my amazing group members and, of course, Ms. Sanders. Thank you so much for coming today, and I hope you guys are having a great time. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Adina Dominic, and I am a junior at Chattahoochee High School. My favorite memory of SLJC was from City Day, where we had the opportunity to tour the City Hall and meet government officials. Additionally, we had the opportunity to learn more about our canine dogs. Coming from a family which fosters dogs, it was especially interesting to me to learn about the lives of these dogs and the service that they do in our community. For my group's project, we partnered with One Johns Creek and chose to focus on the issue of drug misuse in Johns Creek. To pursue our mission of reducing prescription drug use, we distributed doTERRA bags, which decompose medication in a safe and eco-friendly way. While our original goal was to hand out 200 doTERRA bags, as of today, we have distributed over 500. We held seminars at senior homes to introduce the concept of doTERRA and play Jeopardy with the seniors. Some of the homes we went to included Ashwood Meadows, the Cohen Home, and the Mansions at Alpharetta. To reach a broader audience, we participated in city events like the Johns Creek Art Festival and DEA Take Back Day, and collaborated with clubs like Art Beach at our school, which was a club which focused on bringing music and arts to senior homes. In the future, we hope to continue our mission and spread awareness through collaboration with school clubs like Green School and Art Beach. Thank you.
Hello again, distinguished guests, SLJC members, and our rising SLJC class of 25. I'm Tiffany Abasaman again, and I'm a junior from Johns Creek High School in the SLJC class of 24. I'm also one of our Secretary of State ambassadors, which undoubtedly takes up the bulk of my time in this program. I'm here to speak to you a bit on the program. Another one of my favorite memories was interviewing Madam District Attorney Fani Willis and North Point Community Church Pastor Amy Stanley for our Same Store, Different Votes project. Being an ambassador has been the most exciting and rewarding experience of all my years in grade school. As ambassadors, we've been granted the opportunity to exponentially grow in our public speaking skills, our incentive to serve in our communities, and in our ability to neatly package and present our skill sets to network with some of the brightest and most influential minds in the state of Georgia, such as our state senators, city council members, Governor Kemp, and truly so much more. We've gone from organizing events to service projects such as the Genetics Symposium with Northview's Gen Ed Club and helping out with Dalton Elementary's Garden, to our Library of Congress branded project, Same Store, Different Votes, which I'm sure you've heard a lot about already, on Johns Creek experience with the COVID pandemic, to hosting voter registrations and making city council meeting presentations, to some of us even appearing on the Above and Beyond Leadership podcast and the Business Radio X podcast to talk about our program. Shout out Shruti, Arya, Neha, and Lakshana. These initiatives are worth various amounts of points that are entered into a system where we compete against ambassador teams from other schools all across the state. The competition is sponsored by our very own Georgia Secretary of State office. At the end of the year, those with the most cumulative points get honored with a trophy by the Georgia Secretary of State, who is currently Brad Raffensperger. The SLJC ambassadors team have won for the past 7 years and counting, and we plan to win again. The main attractions of the year for our team are the debates we hold for the various elected officials. This year, we held debates for the Fulton County Commission and the State House and State Senate over the fall here at JCHS and at Northview. Our team for next year will be holding these for the Johns Creek City Council, so stay tuned for more information on that. Before I leave here, I'd love to give the most massive shout outs to Ms. Sanders and all she's done for our group. We are all in positions and have access to opportunities and people we would not have dreamed of in any lifetime, thanks to her consistent time and dedication that she's given to bringing out the best in every single one of us. Huge thank you for making this year run smoothly. Lastly, I'd love to give a great, massive shout out to my fellow ambassadors, Varsha, Shruti, Nicholas, Alicia, Neha, Brady, Lakshana, and Arya. All the Zoom calls, the meetings, the service projects, the interviews, the research, the blood, sweat, and tears that went into being proactive leaders in our community will always be near and dear to my heart. And to close off, I'd love to reiterate the application process for the class of 24. For the first time ever, instead of a completely new team of ambassadors, 3 of the current class of 2024 members, myself, Neha, and Lakshana, will be moving on to next year's team, leaving 6 slots for the class of 24 to apply for. A year ago, I was sitting in your positions hearing this information, thinking my chances were an unlikely dice roll. Yet, here we are now. So, if you're even thinking of it in the slightest, I really do encourage you to apply. And for the class of 25, you're not too far off at all. Use your first year in this program to build connections and networks. You never know where one of Ms. Sanders' many emails is going to land you. We are all looking forward to seeing what the next team of ambassadors has in store, and we highly encourage those who are interested to apply again. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so glad that we are able to be together on this day celebrating our past year in SLJC. My name is Ria Havnor, and I attend Northview High School. Being a part of student leadership for only 1 year now has already allowed me to develop exceptional leadership skills and has allowed me to grow into a better communicator. I would say that my favorite memory in SLJC was our government day. I felt really lucky to be able to take a deep dive inside our Fulton County government and truly see how our county runs the way it runs. I'm so excited for my next year in SLJC and the things that we will accomplish together. And now for the core distribution for the class of 2023, I would love to introduce to you Aisha Shah. Aisha is a member of the SLJC class of 2022 and the inaugural winner of our Michael E. Barker Award. She will be graduating from Northview High School in May. Along Aisha, I would like to also introduce Carmela Dunn. Carmela is a recent graduate of the class of 2022 and will graduate from Centennial High School this May. She will be attending Georgia Tech in the fall and plans on majoring in chemical and biomolecular engineering. Let's welcome Aisha and Carmela.
Good evening. My name is Nelson Pennell, and I attend Centennial High School. My favorite program day for student leadership Johns Creek is our escape room kickoff event. I completed the escape room with the fellow members of my group project. The escape room helped us develop teamwork that we used to effectively complete our group project, mentoring the middle schoolers.
And my name is Surya Monchamani, and I also attend Centennial High School. One of my favorite memories about student leadership Johns Creek was City Day because it was so interesting touring the City Hall and meeting those working for the city of Johns Creek.
We are happy to introduce the graduating class of 2023 from Centennial High School. Please come to the stage as your name is called to receive your cords and certificate of completion. Ria DeSetti.
Dorothy Finley.
Reagan Higgins.
Lindsay Barrow.
Lucy Salida.
Imani Pierre.
Leslie Warren.
Congratulations to the Centennial class of 2023.
Good evening. My name is Ula Mukulala, and I attend Chattahoochee High School. One of my favorite memories from SLJC was visiting the Superior Court of Fulton County and touring the Georgia Capitol Building on Government Day.
And I'm Devin Yao. I also attend Chattahoochee High School. One of my favorite memories from this past year was City Day, when we entered the traffic control room and saw cameras directed all towards the intersections of the city. It was fascinating to see a live feed of our city's roads and really attest to our city's organization.
We are happy to introduce the graduating class of 2023 from Chattahoochee High School. Please come up as your name is called to receive your awards and certificate of completion. Faith Ela.
Cindy Hu. Sophia Hong. She is unable to join us. Claire Morris. Niha Sadie. Arya Smith. Nicholas Stone. Emily Zhao. Congratulations to the Chattahoochee class of 2023.
Good evening. My name is Lakshya Roman, and I'm a junior at Innovation Academy and one of the Secretary of State ambassadors for this year. Of the memories I've made at Student Leadership Johns Creek and attending all the program days, one has to be the lesson that I learned on taking up opportunities and following your passion for service. Hearing so many things from the distinguished people such as Madam A. Bonnie Willis, Dr. Carnesino, and the many program day guests talking about their own jobs and responsibilities with such passion really inspired me to follow their paths. I learned about how leadership is a huge component in many different sectors such as healthcare, law, politics, and of course community service. Having learned so much just from my first year, I'm looking forward to the journey ahead.
And my name is Lanisha Janardhan, and I also attend Innovation Academy. One of my favorite and most valuable lessons that Student Leadership Johns Creek taught me is the importance of communication, and that each team member has different backgrounds, values, and beliefs than any other. I'm extremely proud of my group, the Innovation Academy team, for overcoming such hurdles and successfully formulating a final project. Innovation Academy joined the SLJC family in 2021, as the school was just preparing to open and had just notified students of acceptance. Therefore, we have a small yet mighty class graduating this year from Innovation Academy.
We are happy to introduce the graduating class of 2023 from Innovation Academy. Both of these students served as Secretary of State ambassadors during their time at SLJC. Please come up to the stage as your name is called to receive your cords and certificate of completion.
Alicia Coley.
Tia Punchard.
Hi, my name is Neha Gura. I'm a sophomore at Northview High School, a member of class of 2024, and a Secretary of State Ambassador for this year. My favorite program day was my very first one, where I was taught crucial leadership skills by Richard Blake. I was able to use these very skills in my future leadership endeavors, and they really shaped the way I became a leader today.
My name is Girish Kumar, and I also attend Northview High School as a sophomore. One of my favorite memories that I had at Student Leadership Johns Creek was also City Day and Government Day, where I got to meet many influential members of our community, such as Judge Garnasell, Mayor Bradbury, Senator Sean Still, and District Attorney Bonnie Lewis, who are all here with us today. Both these events really helped me realize an interest in law and politics, and I'm really grateful that I was able to meet these individuals and had hands-on experience in these sectors.
Now we're happy to introduce the graduating class of 2023 from Northview High School. Please come up to the stage as your name is called to receive your cords and certificate of completion. I first want to call up Riley Baker.
Next up is Shruti Balachandran.
Next up is Purvi Iyer.
Next is Nishant Giridhar.
Next is Simran Balakrishnan.
Lakshan Kumar.
Luke Marshall.
Megha Nair.
Angela Nguyen.
Varsha Nirmal.
Kavitar.
Archana Patiria.
Bhavin Shah.
Rishi Subramanian.
And Hank Wilson.
If there are any Johns Creek High School graduates, please come to the stage for the final photo. Congratulations to the Northview class of 2023. Please remain on stage for a group photo. And I'm happy to. Oh, wait.
Hold on, we have to get to.
Hi, my name is Alicia Colby, and I'm one of the first graduating class from this program at SLJ through Innovation Academy, and as 2023 Secretary of State Ambassador. Coming to this program, I remember being so intimidated by all the incredible people that came out of this program, and just the extent of things that we were able to complete while participating in this program. And I saw it pretty much impossible to get in, and let alone succeed. As a finite and reserved sophomore, I couldn't really find a clear path to success, but I also couldn't imagine the effects that this program had on me. I remember the first email I got from Ms. Sanders, along with a whole list of things to complete, similar to the plethora of emails she would send me over the years. It started with the presented paperwork, and then I scrolled down and I saw the requirements of the program, with the service project being the first requirement and an internship being the second requirement. Needless to say, it was easy to be scared, but also really exciting. The opportunities were vast, stemming from learning about myself to learning about the world around me. After the hundreds of emails that Ms. Sanders had sent, here I am, and I can confidently say that this program has changed my approach that I have and to the problems I face today. If you were to ask me to give a speech in front of so many people 2 years ago, you would see me pacing outside right before the speech, stuttering and rumbling. Had you asked me 2 years ago to describe how I thought this program would change my perception of the world we live in, I wouldn't be able to give you an answer. Though through this program, I have been able to grow my confidence as a leader, similar to many of you. The lessons we have had on how to effectively contribute to society, as well as the vast range of information that we have gained through the guest speakers, will stay with us as we grow into our college and our job careers. Thank you so much, Ms. Sanders, for not only maintaining but growing this program, and for all the sponsors and speakers that were able to generously contribute to this experience. Your work is greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Ruth Seti, and I'm a junior at Centennial High School, and I'm a part of the graduating class of 2023 for student leadership. Throughout my time at SLJC, I've had so many new and unique experiences that I never thought I would ever be able to have before. I was able to take charge in different ways and learn to grow outside of my comfort zone. At our last program day, Ms. Sanders chose me as a volunteer in a public speaking seminar to be critiqued on my public speaking by Mr. Kane. And needless to say, it wasn't my most favorite thing in the world. I was definitely not very excited about it. But even though it wasn't very comfortable for me, I'm so glad that she chose me to do it, because it just helped me work on that weakness and grow in order to develop myself and become a stronger and better person. If you had asked 14-year-old me to stand in front of a crowd like this and speak in front of all of you, I would have said no a million times. But here I am standing in front of you, and even though it still is nerve-wracking, I'm so glad and proud of myself that I'm able to do it. The whole part of SLJC is being able to work on yourself and grow yourself into a person that can be successful and a better person. And it's a place where I was able to craft someone that is more prepared for the future ahead of me and discover my strengths and work on my weaknesses. It was somewhere I could make connections with the career leaders of business, medicine, engineering, and so much more with everyone here. It has so much to offer and allows you to discover so much about yourself. I want to thank Ms. Sanders for everything she's done for this program and all the hard work she's put in, and to create this place where young, brilliant minds can come together and grow. It's one that allows you to connect and meet with the leaders of today and stay connected with the leaders of tomorrow.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nicholas Stone, and I'm a 2023 Secretary of State Ambassador from Chattahoochee High School. When I was first accepted into SLJC 2 years ago, had you asked me what my definition of leadership even was, I probably would have said something along the lines of, to be a leader is to be the figurehead, like the commander or a captain. This was my definition of leadership, a definition which put leaders on a pedestal and expected them to take charge. I'd adopt this ideology in my own day-to-day life. Whenever there was a group project at school, I felt the need to take control and do the majority of the work so I could ensure that there wasn't a single part of our product that I hadn't put my all into. Even if that was my sole intention, however, it often left my group members feeling excluded from the final product, like I wasn't even hearing them. Now, I've been in this program for 2 years, and I found myself at the helm of a series of projects which have taught me invaluable lessons. But by far, one of the most important lessons across my experience in SLJC came from my very first project, the Macedonia Cemetery films. Along with a group of 7 individuals, it was our job to write, research, and produce a real documentary which highlighted the importance of a virtually unknown part of Johns Creek. I distinctly remember one night struggling to find research to complete our script, and yet so steadfast on finding anything to put into the script myself, if not to turn the project on time, to at least prove to myself that I could actually do it. And yet, as I was struggling with my own part, a few of my group members stood up to help me finish it, allowing me to relinquish some ounce of responsibility and place it onto another. You see, I once thought that to be a leader meant to be the person you could go to for anything. This was how I'd always observed the leaders in my life, always seeming to know the right course of action for any situation. But a real leader is able to admit when they're wrong or not the most knowledgeable person in the room. Being able to relinquish this unrealistic expectation of perfection and instead learn from those who are more well-versed in a certain area than you is what grows one's skill set and communication abilities. Because a leader does not stagnate. Just because you've acquired an officer position or have been elected to a position doesn't mean that you stop there. I like to think that SLJC is not just a program, but an opportunity. One that grows with you and one that will continue to grow with you even if you're graduating tonight or next year or the year after. One of the hardest lessons that I've had to learn as I've grown is how to say no and how to accept failure. Even today, I still see myself struggling in that regard by overcommitting in the opportunities around me and having trouble recognizing that certain sacrifices are necessary sacrifices. But I'm still learning. Because to be a leader is to be a learner. Someone who can take from the experiences and people around them and lead as a sum of their parts. That's my definition. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shruti Balachandler, and I'm a senior at Chattahoochee High School, as well as class of 2023 Secretary of State Ambassador, and it is a pleasure to be with you all here tonight. Over the last 4 years, I noticed a trend. Every time I applied to anything at the last minute, it worked out. 4 years ago, I spent weeks on my SLJC application, perfecting every word and rereading it over 1,000,000 times to make sure there were absolutely no errors. And when the results came out, I didn't get it. 3 years ago, I had completely blanked out on my SLJC application until my friend texted me at 10 p.m. the night the application was due. At precisely 11:02 p.m., I applied to the program again, rapidly moving through the questions. At exactly 11:59 p.m., I turned in my application, truly hoping it went through. And when the results came out, I got in. After that, whether it was my last-minute college application, a scholarship, an internship program, or even dance tryouts, every single last-minute application I completed had resulted in a positive outcome. And in comparison, every application I spent hours and hours on usually didn't work out. Now to our underclassmen here tonight, please do not understand this speech as me telling you to procrastinate. I promise that's not what I'm saying. I promise, Ms. Sanders, that's not what I'm saying. Instead, the real point I'm trying to make is that life is full of opportunity. And even though I might have been writing this speech today morning or applying to SLJC last minute, it is your choice to take every opportunity that life presents to you. Student leadership Johns Creek's opportunities have truly changed my high school career. The amount of opportunity that my peers and I have been able to receive surpasses anything we would have been able to get at our respective schools themselves. I'm eternally grateful for this program, for allowing me to meet some amazing friends, have some of the coolest experiences, and even find my passion and legacy for life. The work this program entails will last on your resume and in this community for a lifetime. And I know you've heard a plethora of speeches tonight. But one thing I hope you get from tonight is that everything you do today, tomorrow, and in the future shapes you into the person you are. Just like SLJC has shaped me into the person I am today,
I hope it guides you to the amazing potential it has. And to my fellow graduates, congratulations. We made it past 2 years of this program, but more specifically, we made it through each one of Ms. Sanders' emails today. All jokes aside, Ms. Sanders, even if I say this every day to you, it wouldn't be enough. But thank you for absolutely everything you do. There would be no Student Leadership Johns Creek without Ms. Irene Sanders. And finally, after 2 years of endless chicken salad sandwiches, Emory Hospital visits, City and Government Day, Macedonia Cemetery interviews, Same Strong Different Boat editing, program days, I would like to say with my utmost gratitude that I am eternally indebted to this program and everything it has given me. Thank you, SLJC, for the everlasting memories and experience. You will always be a part of me.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tia Ramshad, and I'm a junior at Innovation Academy. Like everyone graduating here today, I've only been a part of student leadership at Johns Creek for 2 years. But these 2 years have felt kind of like a lifetime, sort of a time loop where I entered a different person than the one that's here graduating today. Recently, I've had younger friends thinking about applying to SLJC, asking for my opinions or for advice. And the truth is that student leadership is a program unlike any other. Almost to the point where I wonder, how could I even begin to communicate the magnitude of the knowledge that I have gained? Through SLJC, I've been able to deeply explore my community and evaluate how my actions can make a difference. So I have 2 memories that I would like to share. During my first year of SLJC, I served as one of the 9 ambassadors on the Secretary of State ambassador team. Our team organized the Johns Creek mayoral and city council debates. I had never done something like that before, and to be quite honest, it was a little scary. At first, I was extremely nervous about interacting with local government officials or moderating in front of a debate audience, but I can confidently say that organizing those debates was one of the most enriching experiences in my life. Not only did I learn more about the city that I have lived in for the past 17 years, I learned a lot about myself and what it means to be a part of a team. In our second year of SLJC, we dove deeper into what it means to be a leader. So throughout the past year, we have worked on personal branding, how to communicate effectively, and how to establish ourselves in this community. One of my favorite activities that we did this year was the Gallup Strengths Poll. After taking this poll, we were each given a list of 5 traits. So my 5 traits were learner, achiever, communication, input, and relator. After receiving our traits, we all gathered into groups based on our top trait, and we made these posters. My group made a museum full of exhibits that had activities that we loved to do or things that we wanted to explore. So I think we had a globe for traveling and a book for reading. I found it so interesting to analyze how our shared traits allowed us to work really well in a group together, but how ultimately it's so important to work with other people because we all offer different strengths and different values. I have to say I'm a little bit sad at SLJC, but I do know that I will carry the lessons that I've learned and the friendships that I've made with me forever. As I previously mentioned, SLJC is a program unlike any other, and it's only through this program that I've gotten to be a student, a leader, a pretend crime scene specialist, a friend, a firefighter, a teammate, and a graduate. So here's to the SLJC class of 2023, and I'm eternally grateful for Ms. Sanders, Ms. Nagler, and Ms. King.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rohan Mishra, a junior at Northview High School. Throughout my time at SLJC so far, I've grown as a person, as a team member, and of course, as a leader. While it was difficult to choose just one moment from SLJC, I would have to say that my most memorable experience was at City Day, where we learned about the new developments coming soon to Johns Creek. Before I move on, I would like to congratulate the graduating class of 2023, as well as the incoming class of 2025. I now invite to the stage Aisha Shah to announce the recipient of the 2023 Michael E. Bodker Scholarship Award. Aisha Shah is a senior at Northview High School, and last year was named the first ever recipient of the Michael E. Bodker Award. Everyone, please welcome Aisha Shah.
good evening, everyone. As you mentioned, I'm Aisha Shah, a graduate of the SLJC class of 2022 and one of the inaugural winners of the Michael E. Bodker Leadership Award. I want to once again congratulate the 2023 graduates and welcome the incoming class of 2025. SLJC was such a memorable experience for me, and I'm certain all of my peers here today would agree. Anastasia, in fact, who also won the award last year, was unfortunately not able to attend as she is currently studying abroad on a scholarship in Taiwan. But she sends her congratulations to the students here today and the soon-to-be winners of this year's Michael E. Bodker Award and Scholarship. I know we're all eager to hear about this year's winners, so I'll do my best to keep this as short as possible. Tonight, we are pleased to honor our former mayor, Mike Bodker, as we recognize the Michael E. Bodker Leadership Award winners. 16 years ago, Mayor Bodker was voted in as mayor of Johns Creek, and as we all have seen, he has worked hard to make it the exceptional city it is today. To recognize young leaders, the Michael E. Bodker Leadership Award and Scholarship are awarded to 2 members of the SLJC graduating class who have shown to be leaders in numerous situations and continue to be accomplished peers. Students were asked to write an essay answering several questions about their leadership journey. Each essay, as well as supplemental recommendations, were reviewed by judges with extensive careers in education. From what I've heard, this was certainly a tough decision for the judges to choose only 2 from so many applicants. And as we all have seen today, all of the SLJC graduates are just as amazing and just as deserving. The first of this year's 2 winners started off her SLJC career as a leader among her peers. Inside and outside the classroom, she aspires to empower and form a community of female leaders in STEM, eager to find ways to lead and advocate for gender equality. She finds immense joy in helping young children, hoping to always spread kindness in her community. For her first year group project, she narrated a documentary on the history of Johns Creek, receiving a certificate of special congressional recognition. And as a Secretary of State Ambassador in SLJC, she has had the chance to contribute to various parts of the community, connecting to the diversity of the people she has interacted with. Without further ado, I want to welcome Arya Smith to the stage. Our second award winner today was also a Secretary of State Ambassador this past year. She served as a researcher and interviewer for the Same Storm, Different Boats COVID grant project, combining her creativity and passion for positively impacting the community. Whether it be a case challenge in 3DE or serving as a leader in many school clubs, she always says yes to every opportunity that greets her. Having known her throughout high school, I can attest to her dedication to motivating everyone around her and cultivating a welcoming environment. As we send her off to GSU as a STEM scholar, I'm excited to invite Shruti Balachandra to the stage.
Thank you so much, Aisha. And thank you guys all so much for coming tonight. We are so excited to continue SLJC in its 11th year with a huge amount of kids with all these great opportunities. I hope you guys all learned something tonight from all these amazing speakers, and I hope you guys all have a great night. Jackson.